I accidentally bought this card, and it was one of the most profitable plays I had of the year.
Cards are exciting and it's fun. So currently still is the best sports card shop that exists. Got my little green card. He's gonna be on YouTube a little more than he wants to be.
What's up YouTube? It's your boy Kevin Rappers Cards, and I'm here with another video for you guys on my best plays of 2022, so let's get started. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, I made a video on some of my worst plays of 2022. I think there was a lot of good lessons to be learned and nuggets that you guys could take from it, and I think it's really important to just look back and see what you guys can get from the things that you've done in the last year. So now I get to talk about the positive plays that I made this year, and I got a couple I want to share with you, so let's get started. So the first card I want to talk about is a really cool card. It was a 2014 Topps Chrome WWE The Rock X Factor PSA type. So I graded this card when I first came into the hobby late 2020. I turned it in at the bulk submission. I think it was like 15 bucks. And I bought the card for like 20 bucks. And then I didn't get the card back until 2022. And I got a 10 on it. So I had no idea what this card was worth. It was a Pop 1 though. And I knew it was a really rare card. So I, posted it on my Instagram, and I got multiple people messaging me, asking me how much. I got offers at like $300, $350, and I was shocked. I was like, oh shoot, is this card worth a lot? Maybe. So instead of taking those offers, I decided to just at least wait a couple days. And I was like, I'm gonna list it on eBay and see what I can do. So I think later that night, I listed on eBay for like 1,000 OBO, and within 30 minutes I get an offer for $700, and I just take it because I'm just like, $700. I bought this card for 35 bucks. I have no idea what it's worth, but $700 is a lot more than what I was getting offered in person. So I took the offer. Guy paid quickly, and I made a lot of money on the play, on something I just didn't even expect. It came out of right field, and it was a really cool way to start the year. I moved it early on in the year, but it was one of those nice supplement plays where oh wow, that's really good for my bottom line. So I was happy with how that play went, and it was a really fun one. And let me share another one with you guys. Cool. So this next card, I actually talked about it in my most memorable plays video. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should definitely take a look, because I think it was a really cool video. I talk about good and bad things that have happened to me in the hobby since I've started. But I'm going to mention in this video because it happened in 2022 and it was an amazing play. So I'm going to break it down a little quicker than I did in my other video. But, I bought this card for $2 from a vendor in a Diamond 9. It was in a dollar box. And this card sells for $100, $200 raw. So I had a big come up from finding this in a dollar box. It was awesome. But I listed it on eBay for $200, $250, and I had no takers. Card was really clean, so I kind of listed it at the higher range, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go grade this card. So I grade the card, and sure enough, it comes back a PSA 9. I was like, oh shoot, PSA 9, awesome, right? There weren't any 9 sales, and all the BGS 9 listings were really high. So I saw 8s for selling for around 500. So I just listed at 1,000 OBO, like the other play I just mentioned, and I got an offer for $800. I was pretty happy with it, just took it, and the guy was really grateful. He told me he had a lower variation of this card, and now I got a really clean version of it. So I was happy I got to sell it to someone who was really going to enjoy the card, and I made a decent amount of money. So between the $2 cost of the card and the $50 to grade it, I came out close to $600+ on this play. So I was really happy with it, and it felt really good because that multiplier is wild when I turned a $2 card into over $800 on eBay. So I was really happy with that play, and let's talk about another one. Cool. So the next card I'm going to talk about is this Panini Instant NFL Scouting Combine Justin Herbert 1 of 1. This card was a very, very interesting play. So I bought it on a Golden Auction sometime in the summer, I believe, and I was buying it with my guy Richard, Mania Kicks. He was a little bit weary of the card because he was like, this card is so not good looking. It's really bad. And I was just like, hey, like, look at these comps. And so there was a comp on this card on eBay close to a year ago. I found it on Terapeak. It sold for $6,000. And he was just like, there's just no way that card is worth that much, right? And so we had like a max bid we were willing to go to at like 500 or so. And then as the auction's going, I'm kind of doing more research. And then I found that the Joe Burrow version of this exact same card went for $4,500 close to a year ago. And this was before the Super Bowl run. This was like before the playoffs started. And when I showed Richard that, he was just like, all right, let's just go for it. So I'm glad I got him on board. And then we were willing to go up to like $1,100, $1,200. And we were lucky enough to get it at like upper sevens, lower eights, right? So this is one of those weird plays where we knew this card was not liquid. It did not look expensive. And we were going to have to find that perfect person for us to trade this card with in order for us to get the value that we wanted. And then sure enough, someone messages me on eBay and lets me know that he's really interested in the card. He wants to know if we're willing to trade for it. I say yes. And apparently he's like a big collector of this card. So Richard ends up finishing the deal. And, he drives all the way down from Oregon to pick up this card, and we trade it for close to $3,000 in value, according to our records. He felt like he was giving us a little more, but like those were just small details. At the end of the day, he was happy he was able to pick it up for, some trade value, and we were able to cash out pretty significantly. And, he was a big super fan of Justin Herbert. So this was like his holy grail card, and he was willing to pay for the card, knowing that the $770 comp or whatever we got it for existed. So, we're happy that everyone in, both sides of the, of the trade were happy with this deal. And, it was one of our better come-ups of the year. All right, so the next play I'm going to talk about is this PMG Silk from the new Marvel Metal Universe set. The set just came out like within the week of me purchasing this card. I'm a big Silk collector, so I have a couple of her comics. I have a couple of her cards. So this was a card I was planning to keep, to be honest. So I got it at a really good price. I got it for about $80 from a really nice vendor who's very fair. And what happened was I bought this without looking at comps, and I just so he was just like, oh, okay, I'll give it to you for like $80, and I don't know what it goes for. I'll give it to you for like $80, and I thought that was a good price, and I didn't want to, he was fair, and I didn't want to look up comps because I just felt like this card could be worth more. So I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I'm just gonna purchase from you for like $80, and sure enough, I grabbed the card, and then I looked later on that night, and the last comp of this card was like $700. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do here? I was planning to PC this card, and I was like, well, this is a small window for being able to move a card, for this much money. So what I did was I ended up undercutting the market drastically. I ended up selling it on eBay for, I think it was $550. So I made a pretty hefty profit on this card, and I was pretty happy about it. And the cool thing about it was I went back and I bought this card again. And as it comped down, I grabbed it at a very low price, below market value. I think currently it sold for like 200-ish. I got it for a lot lower than that still. So it was cool because I was able to make money on the play, and I bought the card back. It's in my PC again. But again, I got it for so low, I have it listed again because I think the card could continue to drop. So if I sell it again, I sell it again, and I'll buy it again. So it's cool because even though I'm PCing this, cards come and go, and I can make money along the way and have a card, by all means. So, I was really happy with how this play went. And let's talk about the last card that I'm going to show you guys today. So the last card I bought was a mistake. That's right. I accidentally bought this card, and it was one of the most profitable plays I had of the year. The card I'm referring to is this 2007 Kevin Durant Mastery from the Chronology set from Upper Deck. I didn't know too much about this card. I bought it on Golden. It was a BGS 7, and I put in a minimum bid to qualify for going after this auction, right? So I think I put in a bid for like $1,100 or something like that. And then I looked later and my bid didn't get outbid during extended bidding. So I won it for my like qualifying bid. So I was kind of like, oh shoot, I accidentally won this card because I didn't think the card was worth too much and I thought my bid was fine, but when I won it that quick, I was kind of worried. So like there was also an 8 that sold. I had a minimum bid on both, but the 8 went for like maybe 1,600 and this 7 went for 11 or 12, right? So I cracked it out because BG7 looks ugly, so I felt like it would sell better raw. So I cracked it out and then I posted on eBay with like 12 pictures and I mentioned all the flaws on the card because I like to be pretty transparent with the way I sell things. Like again, like I'm kind of walking the line here because I'm not mentioning that the card is graded, but like I'm showing a lot of pictures. I'm talking about the flaws in my description. I'm doing as good as I could for the most part because I'm still trying to sell it. And I get someone who messages me on eBay. I have it listed at, it's crazy because again, I didn't think this card's worth a lot, but I always like to shoot for as high as possible. So I had it listed at like 5,000 OBO. And then sure enough, I get someone who messages me and it was like, would you take 4,000 for this card? And I was shocked. And I was just like, oh shoot, like, am I really getting a $4,000 offer on this card? And then sure enough, I'm just like, you know what? I don't even know if he's really gonna pay for this. Let me just click accept, hope it goes down because I'm like, there's just no way this card's worth 4,000. But sure enough, he clicks accept. He pays for the card pretty immediately. I ship it out. He leaves me positive reviews. He really loves the card, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I made so much money on this play. Let me put a breakdown right here of how I did on the play. I was just like, I couldn't believe I made this much on an accident. It was like pretty cool overall, and I think it was my favorite play of the year. So like these were some of my most profitable plays that I had. I have other plays where I made a little more or a little less, but I think these were some of the cooler ones, and I just wanted to talk about these plays in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great year. I'm going to be releasing a lot more content in 2023. Definitely going to be doing more stuff for you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day.